We are back with another video on Microsoft Word fundamentals. We have a bunch of things that we want to talk about. We've got a paragraph set up right in front of us, and this is in fact a continuation from our previous video. So we're going to look into a bunch of things. The very first thing is font style. So that's something that we want to look at. Notice by default this is in some font style, which I don't know which it is, but I'm going to see where is the font style. So in the home tab you should see the font option, and there you will see this font style. Now notice if I change the font style to anything else, for example if I choose Cambria, now everything I write now will be in that specific font style, but it has not changed my existing text. My existing text is still in the old font style. So what I really want to do is Control A or Command A, or I can select my paragraph and go to font, and then I can choose whichever font style I need, for example Cambria, and then it changes the font style. So to change font style for an existing paragraph, this is how you would want to do it. Next up, we want to change font sizes. Now the same thing applies to this. If you have your paragraphs already selected, then you might want to raise the font size or lower the font size, or you might as well want to specify a particular font size. Typically we set it to 12, and by just because we have selected our paragraph, this is going to apply to it. Notice if I start doing it somewhere else, it will change the font size, but that would be for every new thing that I would be typing in, not for the existing paragraph. So for existing paragraphs, I would want to select it, right? The next thing that we want to discuss is the font color, right? So this follows the same idea. You select whatever you want to color, and then in the font color option, you could choose a bunch of different colors to basically colorize your text, and it follows the same idea. You have to select that specific text which you want to color. The same idea extends to highlighting the text also, right? So you could choose a highlight color and you can highlight that specific text. The next idea we are looking into is basically this entire palette in the home tab. You could also select, notice if I click bold here, I don't see anything being bold unless I type something, then that is bold. But if you want to bold something that's already there, you select it again, choose the bold option, and then that text becomes bold in nature, right? Let me just get rid of my colors and highlightings. Right, so once you select the text, then you could bold it. The same idea extends to italicizing it. So you could italicize your text also. Notice this text is now in italics. And finally, you could also underline your text. Now these things come in handy, especially bolding and underlining when you are writing a heading, right? So when you write a heading, these things become super important. But that's pretty much about it. The next idea I want to talk about is, as we have come up here, is heading. So right, we could define a heading. For example, I'm just going to say this is a heading. So once you have set up a heading like this, you might want to bold it, Control B, Command B, or you could go right here also, you could set it up. So you see this as a heading. But look, the idea here is that you've got this heading put in place, but is it technically a heading in terms of Microsoft Word? That's the question. Yes, it is a heading for my document, but there's another way that you set up headings in Word, and that is when you go to Home, Styles, and there you set it up as a heading. Notice this is heading 1. So this tells you this is a heading of level 1. Now once you do this, it formats it to a very specific theme that's already there. I can always mess around with it. I could always change its style, and I could fix its font size and colors and everything. But the good idea about this specific heading now, after having chosen from styles, is that when I go next into inserting a table of contents, this heading is actually going to become a part of table of contents. Now let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. I've got this is a heading. This is coming in from styles, and this is a different heading. I'm just going to call it a new heading, right? And this is my manual heading, so to speak. I've bolded it also. But if I insert here, I go to references, table of contents, I hit table of contents, and I insert a table of contents here. This tells me that this is a heading is on page 1. It doesn't tell you anything about new heading. Why is this happening? Well, this is happening because this is a heading has been set up from your styles, from your headings, right? So when you manually write a heading, yeah, that looks good on paper, but in places where you need table of contents to be automatically set up for you, you want to include a heading through the styles option here. I hope this was useful. See you in another video. Thank you.